Mia, welcome back to OCD Recovery's YouTube channel. I am going to be talking today about advice for your friends and family. So this is something I've had come up quite a lot with one-to-one clients recently, and it is that they've got really, really great family support, which we love, but that family support is spilling over into reassurance, confession, needing family by your side to do everything. And I just want to touch a little bit on the importance of doing things off your own back. So having family support whilst you're going through OCD recovery, so whilst you're doing exposures, having your family support is fantastic. However, if you're only doing exposures because your family have told you that you need to do your exposures, or they're with you during your exposures, so you are doing them but you're getting like a running reassurance whilst you're doing them, those things are all really unhelpful, unfortunately, because we are getting that reassurance. So we're doing the exposure, but we're actually doing a compulsion at the same time. And as we know, the reason we do compulsions is to protect us from the feelings that the exposure brings us. But unless we actually feel the anxiety that the exposure brings us, we're not going to become comfortable with that sensation, and we're always going to think there's something to fear and that we need to perform a compulsion whilst in that state of anxiety. So it's great for you to have family to, perhaps understand what you're going through, but talking to them about everything that you do that involves OCD and getting them to be overly involved in your recovery, help you doing disputing, help you through your exposures. These are things that are going to hold you back because you are still showing your brain that there's a fear there and that you need something in order to keep yourself calm during those moments. It's also really important for us to speak to our families about this, because understandably, families think that giving you reassurance is going to be the most beneficial thing for you. And it's a natural response. My mum did it with me, my family, my friends all did it with me, because people don't necessarily understand OCD unless they've had it themselves. And in most cases, for people without OCD, being reassured can be reassuring, can actually help the situation. Unfortunately, when we have OCD, reassurance is like a drug to us, and once we get a little bit of it, OCD will morph, it'll change, it'll say, well, actually you didn't explain this well enough. We'll get that little hit of reassurance, but then very, very quickly we will need something else. We'll need to be reassured about a different part of it. It's not a long-term solution. It's not even a short-term solution, I find, because reassurance would probably work for me when I was like mild OCD, like when I first started like suffering and it was a bit more mild. I think a reassurance would help me get through those moments. But once it became like severe chronic level OCD, even reassurance wouldn't touch it. Like maybe like a second, but then it would morph so quickly that it was almost like it hadn't reassured me at all. So it's important for us to explain this to our family members, because if you don't have OCD, then reassurance is normal, reassurance is fine. But for us, it's not, it doesn't work. If reassurance worked, no one would be stuck with OCD, because they've definitely sought reassurance, they've definitely had reassurance, even unwantedly given to them. They could be aware of what reassurance is and not want reassurance, but if you so much as say that you're not feeling great, people are going to give you reassurance, which is why a lot of the time, even though it kind of goes against what we're told, which is to speak about things when we're feeling upset and talk about our emotions, that's not always the case with OCD, because that can very quickly turn into venting. It can turn into getting reassurance even if we don't want the reassurance, or even if we know that we shouldn't ask for the reassurance. So sitting down and having a really serious conversation with your family members and telling them that you appreciate what they're doing for you and you appreciate them being there for you, and it's amazing if you've got a good support network, because so many people that are going through this don't have a good support network, and it definitely takes a lot of the a lot of the difficulty, I won't say a lot of the difficulty out of it, sorry, because it's going to be difficult regardless. But knowing you have support does make a massive difference. But speaking to your family and explaining to them what reassurance is, what that's doing for you, the fact that it's keeping you stuck. You know, there's some really good videos on this channel of family and friends actually talking about advice for family and friends. So I think there's one from Erica, Nick's wife, there's one from Amy, Sam's fiance, and that's really good because it's actually from a family and friend perspective. It's not someone with OCD telling you what they'd wish their family members knew, although of course that's helpful too. It's actually really good to hear from people who are in the family and friend position that don't have OCD themselves, because they're in the position that your family are in and your friends are in, and they need that same information. You know, it's great if people want to take like an active role in your recovery and they want to help you. That's absolutely fantastic. And you can ask them to watch those videos, you can ask them to read the books, you can explain a little bit about it, but it's when that becomes something that's happening often. So just at the initial start of the journey, that's when explaining these things is good. If you keep talking about it and you keep talking about it and they naturally offer you reassurance and you don't say to them, I need you to not do that, then it's quickly going to snowball and they are going to become the person that you then go to for your reassurance, which is understandable because we all want OCD gone. No one wants to experience OCD. It's not pleasant. However, if reassurance worked, you wouldn't be here right now. You wouldn't be watching this video, because it doesn't. It's not a long-term fix. And making sure that your family and friends are armed with the best knowledge to help you is definitely going to put you in a better position long term. Even if it feels hard in the short term, even if, you know, you've said to them, I need you to just tell me that you can't give me reassurance when I ask for it. And when they actually do that, it's going to really upset you likely, because you're expecting that. And when it doesn't come, it does feel really difficult. But it's the same as exposures, disputing. It's short-term pain for long-term gain. And it's really important that you give yourself the best possible chance of recovery. And one of the main things I think with that is being sure that the people around you aren't enabling you, aren't making the situation worse for you. So yes, I hope that was useful. And if you want to ask any further questions about family and friends and, you know, advice that you could give them, then please do feel free to pop a comment below. And if you are looking for one-to-one coaching services at all, just pop an email to phil@ocdrecovery.com. Thank you.